Alrighty guys, I'm here in the video game museum where you're going to find tons of rare gaming memorabilia, systems, you name it. If it's something rare and obscure, chances are you're going to find it in here. Everything from the unreleased Atari Cosmos to board games to the very rare tabletop Adventure Vision. So if you want to get a good gist of how far we've come over the years and want to look back and get a dose of nostalgia, check this out. I'm going to be walking all around and showing you all kinds of cool and rare items from the Classic Gaming Expo Museum. Now, one of the items here in the museum I'm very personally proud of. Years back at one of the shows, Steve Wozniak made an appearance, and I was able to speak with him, which was an absolute pleasure. But I also had him sign our Apple II computer here. You can see his signature on here. He signed it Woz. So I'm definitely very, very proud of this item in the museum, getting to have him personally sign it for us. Alrighty guys, I'm here with Topo and Bob. Now these guys were robots designed by Nolan Bushnell back in the early 80s. To give you an example, Bob here was designed to go to the refrigerator and fetch you a beer. How cool is that? We could totally use one of these nowadays. So yeah, they were very expensive for the time, and they didn't go too far as on the market. They were shown at some consumer electronics shows that Bushnell had on display. But these are really cool, and just shows you what a pioneer and what an engineer mind Nolan Bushnell is, from robots to Chuck E. Cheese to Atari, and now U-Wing. So it's very exciting to see these robots here in the museum. Alright, so another thing I'd like to show you guys, Halloween in the late 70s and 80s was totally awesome. You could actually dress up as an Atari asteroid, or like a theme from an Atari game. So this one right here is from Asteroids, and your mask is an asteroid, which is really sweet. So yeah, I would totally be sporting that back then, and in fact I would sport this today. And then this one here is from Yar's Revenge, which is really sweet. So these are some really cool masks that we got here. Next item we have is Congo Bongo for the Intellivision. Now, this is the rarest Intellivision game to come across. Oftentimes, collectors are missing this game in their collection, and they're going on the hunt for it. So here we have one in the box and everything. So it didn't see a big release, so it had very limited distribution. Oddly enough, it's extremely common on the other systems to find, but the Intellivision was the one that saw limited production. So for Sega fans, I have a really cool item for you here. It's the Sega Neptune. Now this was announced by Sega as a combination Genesis and 32X system. Now it was never released, but this unit here is a mock-up unit, and it's believed to have been used at some early trade shows and stuff to show it off. So yeah, so this is a really rare item right here, and it's definitely a real pleasure to have it featured in the museum. Now what we have here is just one of many highlight items in the museum. It's actually a complete Adventure Vision setup. Now only 4 games were released for this. Space Force, a game called Turtles, Super Cobra, and of course the packing game Defender that came with the unit. So these are extremely rare. They used LED lights inside that basically bounced off these mirrors inside to project the image. These are very sought after. It's a handheld, could be considered a tabletop, but more so a handheld. Alrighty guys, well that concludes our tour of the Video Game History Museum. There's tons more in here that I could cover, but we would definitely be here all day, which isn't a bad thing, but it was a real pleasure showing you guys around. Got all kinds of cool stuff, and if any of you could ever make it out to the Classic Gaming Expo one of these years, it's highly recommended, and it's a great place to know your roots. Thanks for joining me, and see you at the rest of the show.
Well done.